Michael Liang is Chief Investment Officer, Foundation Asset Management in Hong Kong. He joins us from our studio. And Michael, thank you very much for joining us. I don't know if you heard Simon, my colleague there, talking from Beijing, but she's right. In the last couple of days, we have heard, especially the weekend, we heard several Chinese voices saying that the rout in equities is close to ending. Should we buy into these reassurances?
Well, I guess it depends who you listen to. There's been many different voices from the Chinese government. And of course, the most recent one is the PBOC governor said during the G20 meeting, the Chinese stock market will stabilize and renminbi will not depreciate too much from here. But at the same time, if you look at the figures, as you mentioned earlier, the Shanghai was down today with opening up. I think was 2 or 3%, and then closed down 2 or 3%. I think we're still in the uncharted territory here.
From those people you've been speaking to, what do you take out of this? We're looking at the numbers now on our screen. It is pretty mixed bag. Shanghai Composite down 2.5%. These comments we've been hearing, does that reassure investors, or do you think there's worse to come?
Well, I think the policymakers need to send out a very clear and loud signal. But so far has been very mixed bag. You know, for example, today up the futures margin requirement from 30 to 40%, and also if you trade more than 10 contracts of the CSI 300 index futures, that will be considered abnormal transactions. I mean, put that into perspective. 10 contracts is worth about $1.6 million US. Doesn't matter if you speculate or do that for hedging purpose. $1.6 million is not really a great deal of money.
No, it's right. If you're talking stock markets, absolutely not. But you talked about a loud signal, Michael, there. What would that be? What do you think is needed at this point? Because we've heard very mixed comments, really. Some are saying, look, the economy just adapting the new normal here. This is all overblown. Others saying that the Chinese government has to do more, has to actually take more action in the stock market. Where do you stand on this? What would be that loud signal that you would like to see?
Well, I would love to tell you through my crystal ball, but be honest, I think it's very much data dependent. Today I heard, just on my way here, I heard this foreign reserve numbers came out. It was down 93 billion for the month of August. I think that was slightly worse than expected, but I think it's not too bad. But at the same time, I think the crucial picture people should watch out for is the economic figures. I think we only have one data point since the devaluation of renminbi. I think we need a series of numbers. I mean, it's very easy to draw or spin stories out of one number, but I think the second, the third, the fourth derivatives of one single policy would come out in sequence. So I think it's too early to say where exactly we're heading. But in the meantime, I think the economy continues to weaken. I think the government needs to do more, both on the physical and monetary front.
And we talked about series of numbers, and there will be more numbers coming out this week, trade numbers and foreign reserve numbers as well. Michael Liang, thank you very much. Great to get your perspective.